Alright, I'm gonna do a little video here for you. Figured this would be easier than a bunch of pictures, but so, and hopefully the green windshield will show you the lines a little bit better when I cut it. It's for Zoomin GTR. All of his windshields will mount this way. So, use my curved scissors. These things have got some miles on them. Alright, first thing I do is I cut the back to the inside of the hard line. This line is what you're going to see basically on the outside of the car, whatever mounts to on the outside of the car. And then down the sides is basically 1/16 of an inch all the way around to get rid of the excess. It'll work with a little bit better, or a little bit less material, if you will. We'll trim this up so it's a little bit more even. And the sides, or the top corners, which I'll show you why I pie cut, try and get it as close to this edge here without going too much into it, because then it'll poke through on the pillars and you'll see it'll look bad. Static electricity with these is fun. Excuse me. Okay, now comes the fun part. I try to trim a little bit more. You want like a 1/16 inch off of the edge, if you can see that. 1/16 of an inch there. Okay. And when you start getting down to the bend, I'm just going to take a couple cuts and the bend where it goes onto the hood. So in this area here, you're going to want to start to bring it closer to the to the face of the windshield, or top of the windshield, the part you're going to see. And we'll cut along that line, which is kind of tricky to do it. Use the light's reflection to see where it is. You might have to go over it a couple times. Obviously, a lot easier to trim a little at a time until you get to where you want it than it is to add material. Granite Paul gives you 2 windshields, but I've messed up a couple windshields on some bodies I have extras of. I've gone through 4 or 5 windshields just mounting on one car. I was out of practice. Usually I can get them, because I've done so many of them, I can usually get them like first or second try. But you want to trim that right on the edge of the top part of the windshield, the face of the windshield, if you will. And again, this side here, we're going to want to trim it like that. Hopefully I didn't trim it too far. It's been a while since I've done a GTR. But what I've done to make them work the best and fit the best is I take it and fold it right on that edge, like so, and do it on the sides of the windshield. So it kind of looks like that, if you will. So tweezers here, get my fat fingers out of the way so you at least can get a better view. Of what it would look like pre-installed. Okay, now test fit it into the car. I pinch it, as you can see, like that, like so, and maneuver it around. It takes some finagling, a little patience. And this windshield fits like shit. And it's not a matter of how I cut it, but it's how I trimmed it. And you'll notice on some of the windshields, you're gonna wanna bring these sides out. I might be grabbing another windshield. I have a bunch of these. I'm not actually going to glue this one in because I'm not done with the body. I didn't clear coat it. But like I said, it takes a little finagling and a lot of patience. If you get it right, it'll hold itself right in place, so you can flip the damn car right over and just put dabs of glue along the roof and the pillars. I don't glue the hood on a Niffin body because it sits on top of the hood. Ah, it fell out. And of course I wasn't, you didn't even see it in the video. I'm moving the damn thing around so much. But once you get the top bent, and the reason why you want the top bent I'll end up redoing this windshield, but this is just to give you an idea. Of how to cut. Like I said, it's not obviously not fitted right. I still gotta adjust it up there, but with the top folded like that, it'll allow you to put the glue in there and give it something to hold on to. And the sides on there, the sides folded in, it'll allow you to glue onto the pillars and hold it in place. And if it's set right, if the windshield is set right in the body, it'll lay pretty much flat like that on the hood. Sometimes when I glue these in, to be honest with you, on the Davis bodies, the Hurley bodies, I use a really quick moving glue. You get the idea on that. Just spinning my wheels trying to hold the damn thing in place. This is what I use on Hurley's bodies and Davis's bodies. This stuff is like, I don't know if you can see it flop around in there. It's like water. And a little drop runs through all the cracks and you're done. On Niffin's bodies, I use this stuff here. If you can see it in there. It's a lot thicker. It allows a little bit more work time. And I'll put a dab of glue right here and let it sit. Might even use some activator. Spray a little activator, which is this stuff here, Insta-Set. I just get this in my local hobby shop. This stuff lasts a long time, so $6 really isn't that bad of a price. But I'll spray a little bit on there, let it hold it in place. Spray a little bit on there, and it'll activate the glue. It'll like instantly dry it, instantly cure it, and then you can adjust the rest of the windshield accordingly. You know what I mean? And then you can play around with it and maneuver it around. I'm like determined to get this thing to sit in here, because when they're right, they'll sit right in there, and you just put the dab of glue and be done with it. If it does sit in here, I can just use that blue bottle, the water super glue, put a dab of it and just be done with it. But if I have to work it and screw around with it, I'll use the purple bottle. Stuff that's a little bit thicker. God, it's so annoying. These things are annoying. As the worst part about mountain windshields, or mountain painting bodies, excuse me, is mounting the windshields. And this one, like I said, is cut. I cut the sides a little too short. This side here is too short. That's the one that's killing me. This side I left a little bit longer. I probably should have left them a lot longer. Because on some of them, if you leave them too long or longer, it'll lay right. And you can trim it off once it's glued in there. You can get in there with a Dremel and just buzz it out real quick. The excess from the inside, I've done that a couple times. But if the windshield's, if you leave them too long, you leave the excuse me, if you leave the sides too long, it won't let it lay right on the hood. It'll stick it up. So you have this big gap right there. So you have to go in gradually and trim a little bit, obviously before it's glued in. We trim a little bit, because you see how this part here obviously runs into the side of the windshield there. That's why I cut that at an angle. And like I said, this side's a little too short. I might be able to get this one to work, but I doubt it. I can try to flatten this guy out a little bit more. Let's see if it'll set in here. So if you're struggling putting one windshield in, you're not the only one. Even Paul says he hates mountain windshields. You get the idea. I've had enough with that little fella. I'm gonna have to cut a new windshield because that one's bogus. So maybe I'll put a red one in it. Who knows? I've got clear, blue, red. So I got like 4 of these bodies I gotta do. So at any rate, I hope that helps you out a little bit.